here today with Mr. Francesco Gatti, flying all the way from California. Thanks so much for flying in, man. I really appreciate you coming to the office here.
Of course.
Francesco, just so you guys know, has created a software in the e-commerce space. I'm not going to say a name. I'll leave the name till the end so that you guys can really be mind blown before you even look it up and spoil the surprise here. But this software, so basically here's how kind of we met each other. So we get people that want to sponsor our agency founders event all the time. We always turn them away, but my friend said, listen, you got to talk to this guy. Like, he's the real deal. Got on a call. Started showing me this software. I was like, okay, cool. Like, we don't normally take sponsorships, but like, I'll hear you out. Started showing me this software. And then I started seeing like 20x return for this e-com store, 28x return, 40x return. And I'm like, okay, obviously like you're making up these numbers. Like either one, you're making up these numbers, or two, it's completely illegal what you're doing. So which one is it? And throughout the conversation, I found out it was neither. He was not making up these numbers. They were all tracked. And two, it was super legal, not illegal. And I was absolutely mind blown. And so now we're working on finding a way to partner up and become a part of this. But we've already started implementing this into our brands that we work with. All our clients, I'm telling all my friends about it. This is like bonkers, the software that you've created. So I want to dig into that, and I want to show people and blow their minds about the shit that you're doing here. But before we do that, I want to take a few steps back. I always like hearing people's stories, how you got here. Like, what did you do? You're an Italian guy who like clearly has a super Italian accent. You know what I mean? Like, did you grow up in Italy? Like, did you grow up here? Like, what was the story, and how did you kind of get to the point that you're at now?
For sure. Yeah, happy to do it. So long story short, I grew up in Milan. I moved to London to graduate in business management, started a commodity trading job. That thing was definitely not for me.
Like commodity trading, meaning like I used to like buy cockroach farm stocks.
Yeah, we're trading like big irons and heavy materials.
Okay, cool.
And then from there, I started my first e-commerce company. After a couple of years, we sold it to a media company in San Francisco. I moved there with my team. After a couple of years, got my green card, resigned, moved to Los Angeles, started Volten, which is an e-commerce marketing company. And then after that, I met Don Tamir, who is my business partner. And then we started this new journey together. And here we are. Now we have a little over 350 accounts open. And we're about to partner with people like yourself, so we're pretty excited.
So like, why move from an agency to a software?
Right. So I have to be honest with you, like the SaaS, B2B SaaS is something that just really excites me, right? Because it's kind of like frequency, volumes. You can just, really get things moving for brands, right? And you can really mess with their revenues and just, really push them in a direction where they wouldn't be able to go otherwise.
Yeah, but you can do that with an agency, right?
Yeah, you can do that with an agency, just a little bit more unpredictable, right?
Yeah, fair enough. And did the stress of the agency get to you at all?
The stress of the agency didn't go through me. So yeah, no, look, agency life is great. I love it. It's definitely a grind, lot to learn, and I think that it's actually, if you can, build an agency, get it to a certain point, I think that you can really do anything you want in life.
Because it's so hard?
Anything else is going to be easier. I can guarantee that. And you know it better than me.
Oh, 100%, dude. I have more gray hairs than my 40-year-old friends.
There we go.
So let's walk through, like, how did this conversation happen to get into the software? And then let's start talking about the software. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, you met Don, your partner, right?
Yeah, so I hired Don, actually, in my role in San Francisco as a head of the data scientist team. And then after some time, we were like, look, we can do much more out of here, right? And the thing is that's when I really learned the power of, big data and how you can, manipulate data to then really target the right people, get to the right interest, and, at the end of the day, touch the right buttons at the right times, right? So, and in light of that, right, I feel like there was a big gap in the retargeting space in the e-commerce marketplace, right? Because it's very fragmented, right? You need to use 5 companies to do one thing, right? So because of that, like, and the fact that a lot of the companies in the market, they're just like data resellers, that they're, getting it from the big guys and so on. So we thought that, we could have a play, and that's why we got together. We come up with this new solution that it's have a pretty different approach also from a few of the players that are in the market, right? And our goal is to just build so many features that will give people so much ROI that they're going to be stupid to not work with us.
Nice. So what is the core function of this software? What do you guys do?
For sure. So the core functionality starts with essentially identity resolution. So we're able to identify the anonymous visitors coming to our client's website, right? The things that can sound, like a little bit tricky, right? The things that the way we're able to do it completely legally and compliantly with all American and local laws, right? We only operate for American companies to identify American consumers, right? And so in light of that, I lost it. A sec. Should I restart?
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, keep going. Should I restart? No worries, bro.
So, what was it?
You're talking about you're doing it for like American consumers,
right. So we're only resolving the identity of American consumers, and the way we've been able to make it fully compliant with all local laws. It's by partnering with over 300,000 publishers in America with who we have data licensing agreements with, right? So when you go on a publication, right, and you sign up for a free newsletter or you give them your email to be able to read a full article, that's not free, right? These companies, in order to be able to survive, they then work with data companies, right, to allow e-commerce brands or other direct-to-consumer brands to reach those consumers, right, through a partner consent. Right, so essentially every email that we provide to our client has both opt-in data and partner consent coming from the publishers, right? Because when you accept their terms and conditions, you agree to receive relevant marketing material by the publishers, their partners, and the partners of their partners.
Yeah. So, in normal people terms, okay, if someone visits your website,
right,
and doesn't give you their email address, doesn't opt into anything, doesn't buy anything, anonymous visitor, right? You and your software can basically pull that person's information, everything, right?
Yep.
Like what? Name, email.
Yeah, for sure. So
address.
Absolutely. So we're able to get name, surname, email address, postal address, and a variety of other information regarding their lives, their wealth, and their interest at the end of the day, right? And what that really help us do, right, is to empower our customers to reach the right people on their website, right, that are visiting their website without taking any actions at the end of the day. Right?
Yeah, so it's fucking crazy because normally, like in the e-commerce world, 97% of the traffic is just like dead, right? Like
lost.
Yeah. It's lost. And sure, you can retarget them, but then you got to spend more money to retarget them to hope they come back.
Right.
But also, we all know because of iOS, like tracking on retargeting is not accurate, right? So like you're actually only targeting just like such a small fragment of the amount of people that are actually visiting the website. So there's so much money being left on the table. And so my concern was like, how the fuck is this legal, right? So that's kind of what you were talking about, right? That's so like to kind of just re-explain it to everyone, like there's a network of all these companies that you've put your email address in, and because you've put your email address somewhere else, they have the right to share that address with other people. So
that's correct.
How do you ping that person? Like, how do you know it's this same person with that address? Is it like IP based? Is it like device based? Like, how does it work exactly?
Absolutely. That's actually a great question. So we have developed 2 types of technology. One that is a cookie based technology in order to be able to retarget users the same way that Facebook does, for example. And then we've also built a proprietary technology, which is a fingerprinting technology, which allow us to resolve the identity of a user even when a cookie is not there, right? The times when the cookie is not there, right? It's, for example, when users are coming from Safari, from Firefox, from iOS devices, and so on, right? So consider that all those users which should represent 50% or more of your user base, because 50% of the American population is an Apple user at the end of the day. Right? So
more than that, probably.
Half of your visitors, right, or more exactly, are not going to be able to be retargeted through Facebook, Google, or other social platforms, right? So you need to work with third-party companies like ourselves, right, in order for you to be able to get the email of those consumers, right, in order for you to be able to upload them into the social platforms as a custom audience, in order for you to be able to retarget those users specifically, even if Facebook is unable to reach these people anymore.
Crazy. So we'll get into the ad side soon, because that's like a whole nother in-depth conversation. But like, let's talk about this email side, right? Mm-hmm. So I come to your website, I don't give you any information, you send me an email,
right?
Am I even opening that email? Like what percent of people are opening these emails? Because I saw these numbers, and like, you know, my partner and I were convinced that you were faking all the numbers. You know what I mean? So like, what is the open percent of these emails? Because I think that's like a huge thing. Like, looking into the software from the outside, I was like, man, like, this is like super spammy, right? Like, people aren't going to open, they're not going to click, they're not going to engage, because like, it's like a weird thing, right? It's like, it would be like me walking into Walmart, not doing anything, leaving Walmart, and then I get in my car and it's like, hey, take 10% off your Walmart order. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? So like,
totally.
So how are you avoiding that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question. So the way we're able to do that, right, it's that, I mean, you said it right, like 97% of your traffic is just gone and you're kind of left with nothing, right? And the way to be able to retarget those people, it's through email, ads, and other channels, right? So considering the email channels, which, I mean, it's kind of a risky channel, right? Because, I mean, if you come, you know, unwelcome, right? People are going to mark you spam and stuff, right? So you might be able to run in trouble. So, which is the reason why, like, we, on the email channel, right, we're very careful about the emails that we provide you, right? Because the thing is that we only want to give you the email of the most engaged people, right? So in order to be able to do that, we have built a proprietary algorithm, which is essentially a lead scoring algorithm that allows us to measure the engagement of every user that come to your site, right? And then based on the activity and the actions they've taken on your site, right, we'll attach a score to this user, and if the score is high enough, then we will take the email and we'll share with you, right? If this user was non-engaged, meaning that the user was on your site for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, haven't taken meaningful actions, then we'll...
30 seconds even, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just hold back, right? And we'll wait to give you this email, because otherwise you will likely have issues, right? Or this person is not going to be happy about receiving this email, right? So all the emails that we send, we allow you to send, right? They're very contextual email, in a sense that, I mean, Joe have to be on your site for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of pages, have taken a certain amount of actions, right? In order for us to inform you that Joe was on Nike.com and abandoned the red shoes, right? So you can send them a 50% discount on the red shoes, which is why, by being very timely, by being very contextual, and by having, you know, like active data that it's fully deliverable and it's actually connected to the right person, right? We're able across our network to get an average open rate of 50% and an average click-through rate of 10%. There are cases when we're seeing also 65%, which is pretty insane, but you see that when, for example, you're, you know, shopping an e-bike that costs you $5,000 and the company's giving you 10%, you know, you're going to probably take advantage of that big discount.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're not just sending everyone all the emails of everyone that
absolutely not. And on top of that, like, to answer your question, how we know that it's exactly that person, right? So we have an identity graph internally with over 180 million adult American consumers profiled, right? So every time that we're able to match a user on our client side, we then go back to our graph. We make sure that these cookie or this fingerprinting match to the actual individual in our graph. Then from there, we have multiple emails for every individual in our graph. We'll see which is the email where we have the latest signal on through our email partners, right, that are external companies.
So like which email is the most recently active?
That's correct. Okay. We get it from companies like Vertical Response, SendGrid, and these sorts of stuff, right? And then what we do is that we also emulate an additional handshake before sharing the email with the client, because we only charge for deliverable emails, right? So 99% of the email that we share with our clients are deliverable. We can't just do better than that. It's just...
And what are the open rates?
Absolutely. So the average open rates across the network are 50%, right? And the average click-through rate are 10%.
Which is fucking crazy.
It's crazy. The thing is that if you send somebody the red shoes that they really want with a meaningful discount right after they were looking the red shoes, it's very likely that this person will open the email. And at the end of the day, most people, they don't even realize that they haven't give you their email, right?
Yeah.
Because they saw you on
They
Facebook,
spend so
they
much
saw you
time,
on Google,
yeah.
they saw on the website, they saw, maybe they saw a banner somewhere else. So it's like they're very familiar with your brand and they're invested with it, which is why of all the emails we provide to our clients, like somebody can be, the open rate is going to be great, the click-through rate, but then everybody's going to unsubscribe. No, that's not true, right? Like, because we have our average unsubscribe rate across our network is less than 5%. Right, so that means that if you would treat these emails mindfully, right, meaning that you don't just slap them into a daily newsletter, you send them 4 newsletters a day, because these people are definitely not going to be pleased about that, right? If you don't do that, then these people are going to stick around for a long time because they're actually invested in your brand and they care about what you're selling.
Yeah, so even that ROI that when we look at the software and we see 20x, 30x, that's like immediate ROI, right? That's not even tracking, like, now you have thousands of emails in your email list that you now send them other things.
That's correct.
You get them on the back end to move from email to SMS, and now you can get them to buy other things from you as well down the road. The LTV is just absolutely crazy per email. And so, like, when we're I look at our email list and, like, the average subscriber is worth, let's say, 90 cents a month, example, right? Mm-hmm. And we're selling someone an email for, 15 cents, 20 cents, right?
Once,
right? And then they get to go and use that email every single month. Forever, until that person unsubscribes, obviously. It's absolutely insane, right? Yeah. The ROI is fucking crazy.
And on top of that, Eddie, we allow you to take these emails, right, and to import them into the social platforms to create those custom audiences, right? So we will allow you to squeeze the lemon even a little bit more, right? So that 15 cents to any cents, 10 cents that you pay, depending on the volume, right? For the same price, right? And what we're going to do in order to allow you to really reach those people that you wouldn't be able to reach otherwise through Facebook, Google, or other platforms, because they're coming from cookie-less browsers or devices, right? So by doing that, we'll then allow you to, through our platform, right, to import those contacts into your custom audiences, right? And in order to allow you to augment your match rate inside the various platforms, we'll not only give you the one email that we gave you to send through your Klaviyo account, for example. Because the thing is that one email could be meaningless to the Facebook universe because could not be the unique identifier that's matching Joe, right? So what we do is, in order to, make sure that your match rate is going to be closer to 70-80% instead of 20-30%, we give you multiple emails for the same person, right? So in that way, your match rate is going to go up, and your probability to be able to match Joe is going to be dramatically higher.
Crazy. I'm even thinking. I'm thinking about so many different ways to use the software. So, on the retargeting thing, I think it's very important. So, like, one, for those of you guys who are listening who run ads, like, you already know this. Like, you can take audiences, custom email lists, put them into Facebook, retarget those people, create lookalikes from them, etc. Right. The interesting part about this is you can retarget those people who are on your site who you're not normally tracking, and you were saying 10 emails per person, right? So
up
like
to that, yeah.
Where other softwares, for example, might just like put one email, and it might be like an old email or one that's not super active. And on Facebook, you're going to match 10% of these people,
which is useless.
Which is useless, right? Our match rate is significantly higher because we're giving Facebook, hey, this person is one of these 10 emails, example, right? And because we have so many options, Facebook can at least match a lot more likely than it would normally. So that's fucking crazy. And I'm sure you guys listening can understand, like, the fucking ROI of the software is like out of fucking control, right? My biggest concern was like the legality of it. I was like, how legal is? And I basically dug to try to I tried to fight you in court, imaginary, like imaginatively, like. If like this guy was going to go to court according to these compliance laws and according to the email laws and all this stuff, but it all comes back to, like you're saying, it's in the U.S.
Right.
So like this wouldn't work in Europe.
That's correct.
It's going to work in the U.S. Does it work in Canada or no?
Does it work in Canada? Any user that is essentially coming from outside the US is invisible to us.
Okay, cool. It's invisible to you.
Yeah. I mean, we just know that they're coming from somewhere else and we close our eyes.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's a funny way to put it. We just close our eyes. That's really cool, man. So like, you know, right now I know we're talking about a lot of really cool new features in the future. Do you want to talk about those?
I mean,
you open to it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's
talk about so like, you know, we're talking yesterday about like expanding this. Like how can we turn this one user into multiple sources of income for someone, right? So like email's one, obviously really good one, very instant, right? Facebook custom audiences, another one, great.
No-brainer.
You spend more money on ads though to get those people. Now we're playing with a third one, which is what?
Right. So the third one is the postal retargeting, because the thing is that there are lots of products, right, that are around our household, our homes, and, you know, like it's just a better way, right, when you receive a postcard at home that, you know, it's giving you a little discount about something that you have visited online. Like that thing is going to sit on your counter and, you know, you and your family are going to see it every morning when you go for breakfast type of thing, right? So we have been testing that out in the past 3 months with a variety of our enterprise customers. And in January, we're going to open it up to all our clients to essentially be able to do postal retargeting and our offerings that we're essentially going to allow our clients to send a postcard within 2 business days from when, you know, a visitor came to their site and didn't take, you know, any significant action in terms of conversion.
And like, here's how crazy this goes. Like, yeah, one, it's like e-commerce brand, Nike. Someone goes to Nike, shops around, doesn't give an email, leaves. All of a sudden, Nike sends them, you know, $30 off your next order on a coupon in the mail, right?
That's correct.
But like another level I was thinking yesterday when we were talking was like TV infomercials.
Right.
TV infomercial comes on, someone goes to the website, they browse for a minute and a half. They leave the website. 2 days later, they open the mail. They have a coupon from that website. That's like next level shit. That's like,
absolutely,
what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's absolutely fucking incredible that this is happening. And, you know, just seeing dashboards and seeing like 20x ROI, 40x ROI, and like, you know, we were talking about stories yesterday of people who were like committed as customers to proving that they were not getting that ROI.
Oh, absolutely.
And no matter what they did, they got back to the same number.
Correct.
It was like, man, it's a 20x.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's kind of like one of our biggest problems, right? And that's where, you know, like, thank God we're working with a variety of public companies that, you know, teams of data scientists on our neck that are kind of like try to prove us wrong no matter what. And the things that they keep failing. And so they keep upgrading to the next tier. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that, I mean, our goal at the end of the day is to be able to provide a 360-degree retargeting in one click, right? Meaning that, in my opinion, it's like not like very efficient for a brand, right? To have 3, 4, 5 relationship with 3, 4, 5 different companies that you have to give $500 to $1,000 a month just to be able to sit at the table with each one of them, right? While with us, we don't have any fixed fee, right? Our goal is to just provide you the ability to, you know, like remarket across many channels. And our goal is, again, to be able to provide you an ROI that it's just like makes no sense to not work with us, right? And the thing is that we want to really solidify this retargeting methodology to then be able to get into the prediction marketing next year.
Yeah, I truly believe this brand is going to explode over the next 24 months. I think it's going to take over the market by storm. And I think it'll be it's incredible because, like, from a software standpoint, being able to implement a software and then like 24 hours later have all the results already come in. Like, it's just like unheard of.
Yeah, and look at it. I mean, that was mind-blowing for us too, right? Because the thing is that, I mean, at the beginning you're like, I mean, how's this really happening, right? But the thing is that when a website have, you know, like really meaningful traffic and they have, you know, an AOV that is not $1, but, you know, it's around 50, 100 or over, right? Like it's practically impossible to not see like a really positive ROI.
Yeah, agreed. Cool, man. So with that being said, I guess we can give the name of the software.
Let's do it.
It's OpenSend is the name of the software. And for those of you guys listening, if you go on their website, they have a 14-day trial. If you go to the description or, you know, depending on where you're listening, it's definitely on YouTube. I think in Spotify we can put in the description, right? Yeah, okay, cool. It's a description everywhere you're listening to. You'll have a 30-day free trial, so you'll be able to test it out for a month. There is a cost to OpenSend, so it's not like you're testing out like something that's free. OpenSend actually pays for each of the emails that they give you, so they are incurring a cost just by giving it to you for free. But
so use them wisely.
Use them. And just keep in mind, like, they're willing to do that because they're so confident that the ROI is there.
And just for the record, right, like the majority of our clients, when they start a 14 days trial, when we get to the end of the trial, like the vast majority of them, they already made enough money to be able to pay for the next quarter of the service type of thing, or more, right?
That's absolutely crazy.
So that's the thing, and the trial is only for email, right? And then after clients, like become customer, then we'll allow them to import the data into Facebook and do all the rest, right?
Yeah, I mean that's all you need though. Once you get the results from
absolutely.
email, and so like at what point does it become worth it, right? Because like there's 97% of traffic, let's say, that's missing. Then we take it down to like high intent traffic. Let's say it's 9% instead of 97. Is that a fair estimate?
Yeah. So to give you kind of a ballpark figures,
Yeah.
right? Like we see around 30 to 40% of the traffic of any site in America, right? And the thing is that from there, then, like we filter it down to the most engaged people, right? And that normally results into like 10 to 20%, really depending on the engagement. Of course,
10 to 20% of the 40 or of the total?
Of the total, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is pretty significant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because the thing is that normally even like if you're a monster at collecting email yourself, right? And you're really good and your website have like 55 pop-ups that are coming up from every corner of the site and you have 5 Wheel of Fortunes and this and that, right? That at most you will be able to
use
collect.
Wheel of Fortunes in your e-com company?
I hate this stuff, man.
I hate them too.
Yeah, it just make things so cheap that it's just ridiculous. But I mean, sometimes it makes sense. I have to be honest. Like, but overall, like that's another advantage of working with us, that you can, like save yourself and save your customers from having to go through this horrible user experience, right? Where you're harassed by all these pop-ups coming up from every corner, right? Well, like you can focus on the experience of the navigation, right? And then you can still reach them no matter what, right? And one last thing I would say, Eddie, that in terms of like direct to consumer brands, there are like many different brands, right, that sell many different things. Some are e-commerce, are info products, and you name it, right? The bottom line is that a lot of these brands are also seeing us as kind of like an insurance to their advertising spend, right? Because the thing is that imagine if you're paying Google $50 for a click, right? Like the user now is coming to your site and does nothing, and you're left with nothing, right? It's gone, right? Now you're spending 20 cents on top of the $50, right? And you'll be able to email this guy anytime you want, right? So that, like should give a little bit more faith, like to all those direct-to-consumer brands which are really suffering, right, from the changes within the social ecosystem, right, with, less cookieable users and users that are getting harder to reach and these sorts of stuff. It should, like give back the hope also to all the agencies, right, to be able to really double, triple down on those social platforms like they were doing like 2, 3, 4 years ago, right, when things were so much easier. And yeah, so I mean, we hope to be able to kind of fix things for everybody.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for flying from California.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing this, and most importantly, thanks for making this fucking software, man.
Amazing.
You're gonna change thousands and tens of thousands of businesses because of the software. And if you're listening and you still haven't gotten the free trial, in the description, and you own an e-commerce brand, actually you have any website where you sell anything, you're absolutely just leaving money on the table right now. So go ahead, get that 30-day free trial, try out OpenSend, and hopefully you'll use this thing forever, because I think it'll absolutely change and transform your business. Thanks
awesome.
a lot, bro.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for watching another episode of the Bad Marketing Podcast. I hope you got immense value from it. And if you did, all we ask of you is that you share this with a friend that you think could find this very valuable. And depending on the platform that you're watching or listening to this on, please like, subscribe, or rate the podcast as best as possible. It really means a lot to us. We pour so much money, time, and effort into getting these guests here, filming all this, editing it, all for free, just to give you free value. And all we ask in return is that you just share this with people, you give it a positive review, so that that we can continue to reach more people and impact more lives with all this effort that we're putting in. With that being said, thanks so much for tuning into the episode, and I look forward to continue to provide you more valuable content moving forward on the Bad Marketing Podcast. Make sure you subscribe.